and happy Wednesday. Hello, my name is Alex. I'm the General Manager of Unite Health, and we are Australia's #1 Pilates education provider. It's so nice to be back with you all tonight. Initially, we set out for Pilates Pillow Talk to be a 3-part series, but after feeling all of the love from our wonderful community, that's you, and hearing how inspiring and insightful you found these conversations, we are really excited to be back with a bang. Just to note that Clementine, our gorgeous course expert, is also here tonight. So if you have any questions at all, jump in the chat anytime and Clementine will be more than happy to answer. In tonight's episode, we're joined by Jen and Todd, the visionary co-founders of the Core Collab. With over 20 years of experience in the Pilates industry, Jen and Todd are true innovators, known for their pioneering work in Pilates equipment design and studio ownership. Their journey has seen them collaborate closely with engineers, suppliers, and studio owners to develop cutting-edge equipment. And tonight they'll be sharing their story and insights into the art of equipment design and the secrets behind their success in helping to shape the Pilates industry. Not only is tonight an opportunity to get up close and personal with the minds behind one of the industry's most loved reformer brands, but we're also unveiling a very special offer with our friends from the Core Club at the end of the episode. So make sure you stay tuned. With that, I would love to welcome Jen and Todd. Welcome, guys.
Hello, thank you. Thank you very much.
Hi. It's so lovely to have you both here tonight. Thank you so much. Talk about doing it all. Before creating, I just want to make sure I've got this right. So before creating the Core Collab and entering the equipment space, you actually created and owned the successful Rebalance Pilates studios across the east coast of Australia. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey from studio entrepreneurs to equipment pioneers?
Yeah, definitely. Well, we actually started even prior to, how many years ago? Sorry.
I actually started in the industry in 2001 and we ran...
That we're not going to count, don't work out how old we are, please.
Maths going in the back here, though.
Yes. We had the first group Pilates studio in Queensland, and
I think there was only 2 group studios in Australia back
at the time, yeah.
Oh my gosh, wow.
And so since day dot, we've always designed our own equipment. Actually, the first lot of reformers that we had in there was painted and made, or the carriages were actually made by my grandfather.
Yeah. Oh, no way.
Yeah. So just through a design that we got off the internet. And then from there, we've always looked to develop our own specific to our studios.
Yeah, with what works best for the clients, for the studios, for Australia. Yeah, that's how it all happened.
Oh my gosh. Okay, you make that sound very easy. And we're going to dive we're definitely going to dive a bit more into that, and we'll get back to Pilates in a minute, but I did just want to start with a massive thank you, because I know you both made time to be here tonight with 5 kids, including twins. So the $1 million question, what's the secret to managing your beautiful big family and having your own business?
Bringing them along for the journey, I guess.
Nice. Chaos, or getting, I don't know if it's comfortable, because I never get comfortable with chaos. He does. I get used to being in chaos.
Yeah, right. Okay. Wow.
It's fun. It makes it fun. It makes it fun. Like, just when, things get stressed out, there's so many things going on.
It's been an interesting ride. I think, Jen, when we were talking about this earlier, we were talking about some of the interesting things that have happened. And one specifically stands out of when the lockdown started for COVID, and we rented out all the studio's equipment, and the kids came along for the ride to deliver 120.
So they were equipment deliverers, they were filmmen, they were cameramen, they were up at 6 a.m, they were participants, they know every single inch of the business. So my eldest son actually is 17 now. He actually works in the business now as an apprenticeship. So they've been there from the ride, from like 2, like your daughter, all the way at 17.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible. It's a full family tree I'm seeing. So we had a grandfather designing the initial equipment, kids on deliveries. It was always meant to be. It was always in the DNA.
Yes.
Exactly.
Amazing. All right. So promise I'll get back onto the Pilates track now, but would love to go back to having one of the first group Pilates studios, or the first group Pilates studio in the country and in Queensland. How did that sort of evolve into multiple studios and across multiple states?
That was really, so that studio is still running, still operating now, but we decided that we launched a new brand in Rebalance. I think that all came about actually just as we were on a trip in the US.
Yeah.
And we were deciding on whether we keep going down the Pilates path or whether we go into like spin studios, because Soul Cycle was so popular
I
at
think
the
even
time.
Barry's boot camp. Well, I
Yeah.
read that, but we had the group fitness Pilates reformers. I'm like, no, it's just taking off more in Australia, and our gut tells and our hearts told us stick with that. So we developed the Rebalance brand, which had reformer Pilates at its core, and then bar, mat Pilates, yoga on the side in another room. So it was all about rebalancing, like as us as women,
That's the key.
you know, how do we get our balance back? Because I personally used it to get my sanity back after having kids and to get my body back. So I'm like, well, let's do what I do for everyone. Let's do that. And that's how it came about. And yeah. It's really cool when you can create a space, which is something that you do yourself and you personally love. So that was really cool.
Yeah, the ultimate ambassador that you've
Exactly.
walked the whole experience, and then bringing that to the community is incredible. And then so Rebalance, you had multiple sites, and then at some point you've decided to step away from that business and move solely into the equipment space. That must have been a real sort of full circle moment for you. Can you tell us a bit more about that decision?
It was, I think we're really good at creating, but not really good at managing. And I think it was that time where we were like, we had some issues too with one of the kids.
Well, and also we'd always built the brand as an asset. We thought we don't want to build anything that isn't worth something, isn't of value, which isn't something we can replicate and build on from a business perspective. Because we love so many aspects of Pilates, you know, whether it's like training like you guys do or equipment. And we always wanted to build a brand. It just kind of took us that way. And we found really when it got to COVID time, was a really good time when we thought, okay, equipment's really taking off. And we did our home reformers is when we were the largest private brand in Australia, and we were actually poached by a big listed company who bought us out. So that's how it kind of happened. We were actually approached by a company, and at the time, it just seemed like a natural progression for us.
Yeah, right. So yeah, incredible. I mean, the timing on that is wild, right?
We're going right into the equipment, and we didn't have enough time to do both. So it naturally just took us in that progression.
Yeah, amazing. And I love how you sort of said as well that you kind of at some point along the journey decided, okay, we're really good at creating, but less about the managing. And I think the day-to-day managing of a studio is something that we talk to our community about a lot. What was your experience in the managing side of things, if you don't mind me asking?
I guess, you know, up until recently, I suppose that Pilates has been targeted towards women, which, you know, can be difficult to manage at the best of times. Not present company.
I can be difficult to manage. And I think as you know, you get one studio and then you get two studios, it's great. You have that real close connection. But when you get into like 12, 13, 14, 15 studios, and you think about how many women you've got there teaching, managing, all the different personalities, all the different egos, all the different competition, it gets times it can get quite, you're managing emotions rather than managing, you know, the business. So it does, it can get, you know, it can get tricky.
And I guess we see this a lot. We saw a lot when we were building Rebalance as well, that, you know, people get into Pilates because they love Pilates, but then loving Pilates and teaching Pilates and sharing that with people is totally different to running a business.
Yes.
It's a big shift.
Yeah, that's such a interesting observation. We definitely see that as well at Unite Health a lot. We have a lot of people come through the course who want to learn more about Pilates because they just love it, and that's perfect. And the course is great for that because you will learn everything you need to know and learn the repertoire in your own bodies and get the corrections from our amazing educators. But the skill of teaching is a whole different skill, and I think that can be a bit of a shock sometimes. And I know personally that was, you know, a little bit of a wake-up call during my training. She's like, oh, it's not just knowing the repertoire, it's actually how to deliver, and like you said earlier, Jen, creating a space where people can feel really comfortable and empowered and sort of teaching in a really productive way. So it's so interesting, just to hear that from the studio perspective as well. But
and I would say one other thing is, and this touches on what you guys do, is education. I feel over the last 20 odd years that I've been seeing this is people do their course and then forget.
They think that's all they need to know.
It's
Done.
continuously learning and not being closed off to one way and this is the only way, being open to other ways of learning.
Always learning. Like even now, a couple decades in, we'll go to different studios all around the world whenever we're traveling and experience a new teacher, a new style, a new method, and we're still learning, which is crazy.
Yeah, I love that. That sort of continuous learning is so important. We do a lot of upskilling at Unite Health for that exact reason, because usually people are still really hungry to learn, but some people feel more comfortable learning on the job. Other people are more comfortable with, okay, I want to specialize in anti-postnatal or some sort of specific pathology, you know. So it's great to sort of keep that mindset, isn't it? And the industry is growing and evolving so much. So continuing to stay on top of your game as an instructor and as, you know, business leaders in the industry is so important. Having had the incredible years of experience that you've had, not that I've done the maths, in the industry, what are some of the biggest changes you've seen? And also, what are some of your predictions for the future of the Pilates industry?
I guess the biggest, from my perspective, the biggest change is that when I first opened a studio, everyone was like, Pilates is a fad. It'll be gone in 2 years. There'll be no business. And as I said before, that business is still running 20.
But also now you see it in so many gyms. Like we just did an install in World's Gym the other day. So it's actually becoming, rather than
mainstream.
Yeah, it's mainstream.
Yeah.
It's mainstream, and every gym is including it now. Like that's a huge change. Like back at the beginning where it was almost taboo to have group fitness with reform Pilates. It was meant to be 1-on-1 or, you know, 2 or 3 to 1 at the most.
Yeah.
Like 20 to 1.
Yeah.
And the future, I think a focus on strength, a more focus on strength Pilates. And I know, you know, there are already some that are focusing on strength. However, strength and just fitness, like blending the two, I guess, using the elements of Pilates or using the basis of Pilates to.
I guess our version of strength and fitness and someone else's how to get that is very different. You know, for example, like if we break that down, we're just talking about it today when we're doing like a 3-part series on how to lift your booty or something like that. And we're talking about being really slow and controlled, and how that, you know, it builds the time under tension and the strength, rather than people are just going in, out. It really doesn't do a lot. So you might feel like you're being strong and you're being fast, but really you're only working out 20% of the time because you're using just momentum. So is that what you're referring to a bit there?
That's what I was referring to. Not losing the essence of Pilates over just moving. But with a focus on strength.
Yeah, nice. I that's really interesting to hear, because there is so much group fitness at the moment. And we love that. We love that there's so many ways that people can enjoy Pilates and access Pilates, and maybe they try clinical and then that gives them the confidence to walk into a group fitness class and, you know, get some a workout in that room, and maybe do one-on-one clients or in a gym environment like you were talking about. But the focus back to strength is really interesting. We're seeing that a little bit too, where it's sort of just that control and the precision and some of those sort of more mindful elements of the practice that sometimes we don't get the opportunity to incorporate in a big group fitness environment.
Yeah,
definitely.
Okay, so sorry, you've done so much in your career, so I'm just trying to make sure that I'm not missing any of the major milestones, but we are in equipment land now. So we're creators, you've created this incredible equipment and this brand in Core Collab. I would love to just hear, how did it go from Todd, your grandfather, painting the first reformers, to like creating your own equipment and producing in the sort of at the level that you do now?
Well, so yeah, I guess going back to that, the first few iterations of equipment that we did were actually done by a local guy here in Brisbane that was become a friend. And then just continually tweaking different designs
and
looking for like the best.
As we built our studios in the next studio, then we had, you know, other people that were friends that were opening studios, or people had heard of us, and we'd provide their equipment, because we found that it was actually, it's really funny actually, because you'll go to maybe some other Pilates reformer brands or Oh, has that gone off?
Oh, got you back.
Sorry
Yep.
about that. Did that
I'm
cut
not
off a
sure if
little
that
bit?
was on mine. Sorry.
Because what we found was what a lot of people found was that they'd go to a lot of other reformer brands, or they'd go to the salesperson. That person never done Pilates. They'd never used a machine. They'd never been in a group fitness environment. So it was actually so different for people they noticed the difference between purchasing a reformer that was a Pilates expert that ran Pilates studios. It's really built for the client, you know, for the instructor, for the business. And just having that understanding of, you know, all the little bits and pieces of when you know, isn't it great when you have a reformer that does this for this exercise, or that we spoke the same language. And that's how we found it. It naturally just became something that people demanded from us.
Yeah, incredible. What are some of the sort of signatures of I know you have such a huge range, and you have the personal reformers and the reformers that go into sort of those larger fitness formats like we talked about earlier. What are some of the signatures of the Core Collab design?
Well, I guess, probably it's more componentry, because I'm a big, Jen's more likes the aesthetic. I'm like, okay.
Because we'll have a design, we'll do the same, it'll be amazing. So anything we produce will work amazing. And he'll put it all together and go, looks terrible, no one will buy it. I know, but it works, so we're like, no one's gonna buy it. It doesn't look good.
I love that. You've got both parts of the puzzle. Yeah.
The main things that we're working on really always is making sure like all the components in there are long lasting, which that's a difficult task in itself. Especially now, you know, you've got people using 25, 30 hours per week. I don't think any other piece of equipment in any fitness facility is used
for that many hours,
moving constantly than they are. So like our things that we're always working on is our springs, making sure that we're getting the best springs.
And they sound boring things, but like the quality of them are huge, because people say, we have to change our springs every year. How do I get them? I said, well, you have to change them every year. Please come tell me, and I'll give you a new reformer. That's wrong. Like, you shouldn't be changing your springs every 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, wow.
Like little things like that. Wheels, you know, we have lots of people that have gone from, you know, balanced body to our queen now, because they say it rolls even smoother. Like, just
not to say that we haven't had issues either, but
no, like, and there's
it's just
little things go here, there. It's just constant working on the quality control, I guess. And what we're moving into now is, because I love how things look and design.
Yes.
Ground the functionality. We're moving into our luxury line now. So it's exciting. We're about to release a new series of reformers, which no one else has seen in the world. It's one of our own designs, and it's beautiful. It's luxury. You'll love it. I can't wait to.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Definitely coming to Brisbane ASAP. That sounds amazing. I think what is just so wonderful about having had the chance to speak with you both a couple of times now is just that quality is so it's just so clear. That focus on quality is so clear. I think that's why there's a really beautiful connection between Core Collab and Unite Health, that focus on quality. How do you manage quality control? Is it about partnerships in the industry? Is it about ambassadors? Is it just getting out there and experiencing your equipment in the wild?
Well, yes. Oh, I mean, we do a lot of in-house testing. It's
really a lot of in-house testing, a lot of QA, and a lot of when we bring out a new model or a new feature, we'll use our close partners, our ambassadors, to trial it, to test it with clients. So we have quite a thorough QA process, where before we release a new feature, for example, our DuraBar, we'll create it, we'll test it, we'll have it in the warehouse, we'll have our guys test it, then we'll put it in with a few of our ambassadors to see, you know, their views. Then we'll pop it in a couple of studios that we're really closely aligned with, and then it goes out to market. So there's quite a bit of process behind it before having an idea and going, hey, now we're going to release this.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like, you know, I know a lot of our community on tonight, you know, we using the reformers sort of every other day, and probably don't, you know, stop to think about that sort of journey that the reformer's been on to get there and to work so seamlessly, feel good, look good, which is incredible.
Yes, I mean, so even like today, I was going through, you know, the perfect padding. So I'll literally have all these different types of padding and foam. What's too soft? What's too hard? Some people are hard. Some people like it soft. You know, how soft or hard does it need to be so that it doesn't ripple with the material? Like, there's so many little things that make it feel beautiful, but also long lasting. I know.
Wow.
I find it,
boring, but
sounds
it's
boring.
exciting at the same time.
We find it exciting.
Oh my gosh, no, yeah, we do too. It's so cool. It's so cool to hear about just a part of the, part of the industry that, I think don't know that much about. How did you sort of embark on that journey, stepping into that sort of equipment space, away from studios, and what was sort of some of the challenges that popped up for you along the way there?
The QA is actually one of the main
Okay.
things, definitely.
Right. Yeah.
It's difficult to monitor, but we've got now, we were working with a partner for over 10 years, but now we've been with a new one for 10 years. And we've finally sort of got a great relationship to make sure that everything is working more seamlessly.
And just all the little tests in place of, okay, we're going to test the wheels. Are we going to test testing every single every piece of component before it goes out as well? Because also, I guess apart from that is also another thing is a lot of people love Pilates. They've trained up, they've certified, they're going to open a studio. They have no idea how to service a reformer, how to put one together. Like, do they have no idea how to put a jump board in sometimes? And there's so many little things that if we're not educating the studio or the studio owner, or even the instructor, it can have a detrimental effect on the reformer. Like if you're using a foot bar and it's half loose and falling off, if you're putting 100 kilos on that, it probably might break. So it's an education process as well.
And it also has been that flow on from owning studios and having hundreds and hundreds of reformers that you kind of know. I guess
we took it for granted because we'd built the reformers, and it was just, and it was a learning curve to realize that people that buy studios and buy reformers have had nothing to really do with the ins and outs of the maintenance of a reformer their whole life, and didn't know that maybe they needed to even maintain a reformer or any of those, or how to clean one properly. You know, they might put Jif or bleach on the aluminium and they wonder why
it corrodes.
Oh yeah.
You know, like little things.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I feel like we need a fact sheet from you both on like how to care for and maintain your reformer. Particularly for those who are going to stick around for the next few minutes, when we reveal our secret giveaway for tonight. I think that'll come in very handy. But I did just want to touch on purchasing a personal reformer for somebody to have at home. We have people asking us all the time if they need a reformer to do our certification, and the answer is no, because the reality is that there are places that you can go. There's other sort of things that you can put in place. But ideally, I mean, I can't think of anybody who is doing our certification that doesn't want their own reformer. So what would you say are your biggest sort of tips and watch outs for someone looking to purchase a reformer for themselves?
It's really difficult at the moment because there's so many on the market that you can see. Like we've got things that look very similar to our machines at the moment that are being sold for half the price. And you know that all of those components that I spoke of, you know that the grade that are being used are.
And they'll come, and we have lots of clients come to us and go, I purchased this piece of rubbish, I shouldn't have wasted my money, and they'll come to us 2 months later. So I guess the main thing is
your pet one is springs. So
it is my pet one. It's your favorite. I love springs, but I guess just go with some good brands. If you're talking to a reformer brand, ask them some questions like, what kind of springs do you use? How often should I replace them? If they say every year, go, okay, no, that's crap. You know, do they know what they use, or are they just purely buying it from a factory in China and they have no idea what's in it? You know, so yes, you can buy cheap ones, but I would say no, because I know that you'll end up buying a different one within a few months.
Yeah. And it's an investment too, right? Like you sort of want to be really happy with your choice, and it would be so heartbreaking to have something go wrong after only a couple of months, like you said, and feel like you have to part with that money and more again. So that's great advice. Just take your time, do your research, and really ask those questions about quality.
Yeah, I wrote a 5 steps, didn't I? I wrote a 5 steps. Yeah, the main thing is like lots of little things. One's like, is it smooth? Are the wheels, are they, is it smooth when you wheel on there? What's another one? Springs. Springs is a huge one for me. Like how many people do you have talked to, or probably in your experience too, you go on a reformer and the springs are just weak. You can't even do double leg work and have a hard enough workout. Well, the range of springs is terrible, because I know at the moment now a lot of people are buying balanced bottom, they don't even have a really light spring on there. So then
Okay.
you'd have to
Not
purchase another
rubbishing
light spring. No, not rubbishing them. I'm just saying, like, knowing the things that you need to know, like
Know what you don't know,
Yeah.
what you don't know now. I
yeah, what
guess.
you don't know now. The main
Yeah.
thing is asking questions. Download my, 5 steps, ask those questions whoever you're buying it from,
Mm.
is what I would say.
Amazing. No, for sure. That's so helpful. And because I know there's also a lot of secondhand that can be out there, and it sounds like it's just really one of those things that's worth doing properly if you can, and just sort of taking that time. Where to next for Core Collab? I know you gave us a little teaser on the new luxury model, but what else does the future have in store?
That's only one exciting new model. Line. I'll let Todd tell you about that one.
So we've also got a sport line coming out. That's a little bit more working into that strength area that I was
So if you're
talking
thinking
about.
Legree, strong.
That kind.
Amazing.
And then we've already got some partnerships in Europe, and we've just launched in the US
Yeah.
in June.
So we've now got a warehouse in LA. We're doing one in Europe really soon too now. So moving to other regions, which is exciting. Todd was just in the US last month, fitting out some studios and going again this month.
Wow.
Also, yeah.
And Pilates
exciting.
is just crazy everywhere.
Yeah.
I've spoken to people in Spain, Norway, Ireland, like it's just, and they're sort of, we're here at the moment and they're still here. And
Yeah.
there's so many people wanting to get on the wave.
Yeah.
Actually, the interesting thing about that though is that the lacking thing in these countries is training.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Really is.
There's no one doing quality training
Yeah.
that's available. The availability is just so minimal.
Yeah,
Huge
right.
opportunity for Unite Health though.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. We might have a few little secrets in store as well. Yeah, that's thank you so much for sharing that. I actually can't believe we're out of time, but I say that every single time we do a pillow talk. But thank you so much. That was just incredible. I think that you just illuminated an aspect of the industry that so many people, including myself, we don't really think about in the day to day. So it's been so fascinating. Definitely not boring, Jen. I would love to chat springs with you some more as well. But we've been breadcrumbing a special announcement to our community for a while now. So as promised, the time has finally come. If you are here tonight and if you are watching this recording back, tonight we are offering you a chance for one lucky person to win your very own Core Collab Reformer. All you have to do is take the first step towards your Pilates career by enrolling in our APPI Pilates instructor certification, and you could win a stunning Core Collab Reformer valued at $3,799. And we've just heard all about how incredible the quality is in these reformers. We're so proud to be partnering with Todd and Jen on this one to really set you up to shine in your career as a Pilates instructor. And whether you're looking into Pilates as a side hustle, part of a portfolio career, or make it your full-time gig, having your own reformer has so many benefits. You could complete your reformer practice hours anytime you want, test out your class planning and sequences in real time, set yourself up to host private clients and classes at home, not to mention the ability to practice reformer Pilates yourself 24/7 is pretty amazing. It's really times like these that I wish we could enter our own competitions, but unfortunately we cannot. If you're listening though, if you're based in Australia and you're not employed by Unite Health, you absolutely can enter, and the process is super simple. All you have to do is enroll in our APPI Pilates instructor certification by October 29th, and make sure you're following both Unite Health and Core Collab on Instagram. If you've been thinking about taking the plunge and getting started with your Pilates teacher training, this is your sign. There are a few spots left to start your course this side of Christmas, and a couple of spots left to finish your course before Christmas if you really want to get it done and dusted before the year is out. We also have options all over the country to get you qualified by the end of summer, or if you'd like to wait and kick things off in 2025, if you're looking to plan a little further out, we've got lots of options there too. No matter which option you choose though, you can imagine doing this all with your own reformer would make it extra epic. This is really an absolute dream promotion. We're so excited about this one. We're going to send you an email after the session, not just with those 2 super simple steps to enter the giveaway, but also with a cheeky discount code for our APPI Pilates instructor certification as a thank you for joining us tonight. And if you are already enrolled or qualified as an instructor, we have plenty for you too. Our Spring Shake Up Challenge is live. It's a free 10-day challenge packed with workshops, sequencing ideas, and new ways to integrate Old Faithful props into your classes, you can sign up in the chat box now, or you can head to our website. We've also got some more Pilates Pillow Talks in the works, not only with more industry leaders and founders, just like Todd and Jen, but also with graduates who have started to carve their own journey in the industry and seasoned instructors who are making their mark on the Pilates world. So if you have any requests about who you'd love us to invite next or have any feedback at all, please DM us anytime. The whole goal of Pilates Pillow Talk is to inspire our community. A massive thank you again to Todd and Jen for tonight. It's been just epic hearing your story. We wish you all the best with your next trip to the US and the launch of the Luxury Reformer, and we can't wait to chat again soon. Good night, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.